In this video, we're going to take a look at our Excel normal distribution calculator, but this time we're going to take a look at sample probabilities. So when we are using and employing the Central Limit Theorem. So here we create a space for the mean, we have a space for our standard deviation, and now we also need to include a space for our sample size, right? So that's what this n represents. Those yellow boxes, those are going to be places where we would input values. We can change those values as we look at different kinds of problems. We can change those values, and then hopefully when we change those values in the yellow, the ones in these lighter blue boxes will update calculations, right? So if I change the sample size here to 20 instead of 10, things that I have down below, those values, those calculations, those update. If we want to know what is the chance that the mean of 10 individuals, So if we want to know what is the chance that the mean of 10 individuals will be less than or equal to 64, if we know that the population of individuals has a mean of 63.6 and the individuals have a standard deviation of 2.5, what we can do is we can convert this to a z-score. Now remember, here we're thinking about this being a sample mean, and so when we convert this to a z-score, it is this data value right here, the 64, minus the mean divided by the standard deviation of all of the means. And so to find that, we take the standard deviation of the individuals divided by the square root of the sample size, right? And so here in this formula, we have the data value here, the 64, that's H15, minus the mean, that is H10. And then I'm dividing that by, in parentheses, I want to divide it by the square root of the standard deviation of all of the sample means, right? So I have the cell that references the standard deviation of the individuals divided by the square root, right? So that's what the SQRT does, square root, the square root of the sample size of that 10. Right? And I use the cell address there, so if I change that value of 10, it will change here as well. Right? And so then I do that, press enter, and that's there. All right, so that's the z-score associated with those sample means and that sample size. And then the probability, I have this value, the 64. I have the mean up here, 63.6 is the next value in this formula. And then the third value in the formula is no longer just the standard deviation, but it's the standard deviation divided by the square root of the sample size. And then again, we have comma 1 to say that we're finding a cumulative value. Right? And so we do that. If I change this value of A, this thing would update, everything would update there. As so. If we want to find chances of being less than a value, we do a very similar thing. We have our value B here. We have our z-score that we've calculated using the square root again. And then to find what is the data value, the only thing different we're going to really have to do is we're going to need to take 1 minus this value because we have we want to know the area to the right instead of the area to the left, right? And so that's the only difference there. And then being between two values, we calculate the z-score for both of the values. And that's the z-score using our standard deviation that's been divided by the square root of the sample size. And then to find the probabilities between the two values, we find the area to the left of the larger of the two values, so the area to the left of B, and then the area to the left of A, and we are subtracting those two values. Right? So that is part 2, and you should be able to use this calculator to calculate all kinds of normal distribution probabilities and work with normal distributions and the central limit theorem. All right, we'll talk to you again later.